That's what the experiences was. So it started out, a speaker was at my school from the Virox forum at Sheridan College. And if you see this thing back here, that's my Virox certificate. I had all the guys sign for me last year when I was there again doing a little speech. So Sean Wise was there. He's a coach on Dragon's Den. He's also a writer for the Globe and Mail. And he's also an entrepreneur coach at Ryerson. He was mentioning something at this Virox event at Sheridan, saying Dragon's Den is starting up a new season, and if anyone has any ideas, you should go down there and check it out and bring your ideas along. And I was the only one out of Sheridan College to go down to CBC and bring my idea up front to them. So I got chosen for the show. I went through a recruitment process or screening process of about 4,000 others, and only about 200 made it to the show, I believe it was. I think those are the numbers. And so I went in for my taping.
What was your idea when you went on the show?
I was torn between all sorts of things, right? One would have been the bike company, bring that in. One would have been my skill, sell myself as a performer. One would have been Crank TV, which is a venture that you and I are working on, cranktv.com. And so, I mean, you and I had lots of meetings on that and ideas and hopes and stuff. So getting pulled in all sorts of directions was very challenging. And I mean, Crank TV was something you and I worked on for quite a while. And I spent tons of hours myself uploading video and giving feedback and helping you sort of just mold and shape the site, right?
That was a beta of my initial software as well. So
yeah.
Because of Trevor, he has in some weird way benefited growth of my company as well, which is why we're great friends, which is why we continue to work together and
push each other. The way it turned out is that the Dragons were more so interested in having me as a performer and selling my skill for a percentage of the income. Say I got picked up by Nike as a pro stunt rider at events, at golf tournaments or whatever. So they'd take a cut of that. So that's what it turned out to be. Very frightening experience for someone who's never been under the pressure like that, under real pressure. I mean, in front of me I had multi-millionaires and billionaires who were going to be validating my passion and my questions. So it's not like walking into class where there's a bunch of half-sleepy kids and a teacher who actually wants to be there, but more likely doesn't. So these guys are the real deal. So, I mean, anyone who's got an idea, look up Dragon's Den and go to it for sure. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Now, I personally think that it's very important these days for anybody to market themselves on the internet to create this credibility. Whether you're in elementary school and high school, you already know how to use Facebook, right? You have a smartphone. So instead of playing games on Facebook and on the internet, just go and write a couple of articles. So that's what I tell my interns and the people that I work with. What are your thoughts on this?
Very important to get connected. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, build a LinkedIn profile, get a sprouter.com profile, build a YouTube channel. I mean, just start getting socially connected, start making friends on the other side of the world. You never know who's going to watch your stuff and pass your name along to a big company or a big opportunity.
Now let's talk about support. A lot of people out there, they're watching this video and they're thinking, well, maybe I have an idea, but maybe it's a stupid idea. But I asked my friend, I asked my parents, they're not supportive. Why should I pursue it? Talk about how you get your support, and if you don't have a support network, how you deal with that.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's very hard to be in entrepreneur mode. I mean, I face a lot of criticism still about the type of extreme riding that I do, and I should have a backup plan or more business, gotta have more success. People only measure success in money for the most part, but I mean, there's so many ways to do that. Finding a support network is really important. You're part of my support network. We talk, we go through hard times, we go through good times, and that's what being an entrepreneur is about, is not how hard you get knocked down, but how fast you get back up and get back to it. You'll hear that a lot in your life, but it's so true. Relationships, when a family member dies, when you fail something on your report card, it's not about the fact that you fail. Sure, that's, it's hard to accept, but you got to take that information and flip it around to something positive that you can learn from. Not
right.
just
Failure is part of success, after all.
Yeah, you can't have success without some type of failure along the way, or else you'll just never live in a real world. Or, it just doesn't happen that way. Not the way the cookie crumbles.
A lot of people also think that they need a lot of money to get started in business. What do you think?
Well, I started with lots of debt, actually, so that's a good little contrast. I started with an idea. I started with a skill that I had, people believing in the skill that I had, and you got to get yourself out there. Just like with getting socially connected, you got to get a YouTube account, you got to get a LinkedIn account, you got to start building friends on Facebook and, talking.
Like Trevor says, it's very important to network because there are people out there, they're just like you. They don't have any money. They're making connections, and then you barter. You offer an exchange of services. Just like when Trevor needed to have a business card or a website made, I made it for him for free through my company resources because I believed in him and I knew that he will one day be working with me in another capacity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you were one of the first people that really sort of pushed me into the realm. I remember you were on my tail for months, like jumping on my tail, my nice fluffy tail, to say, get a business card done, get it done. Like I just couldn't finalize it and pull the trigger to say, okay, let's go with this. So you're totally right. I mean, people will believe in you if you've got something going on, if you show you're passionate. And I think that stems back to the mentor thing we were talking about earlier, is show people that you've got something going on. Show them that you've got a drive that, you just can't snuff out that easily.
So Trevor, where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years?
5 to 10 years from now, well, I hope to have a pretty extensive list of clients and events that I've worked for. Moving to a different area, either Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, or somewhere in the US maybe. Somewhere warm might be good too, so I don't have to worry about stopping business for the winter time for my shows and things like that. 5 years from now is a pretty amazingly long time period. I'll always be driving for more. Who knows what crazy stuff we'll be up to, right?
Why do you do it, Trevor? Why?
I think a couple of reasons why I do this stuff. I invest my time so much in what I'm doing instead of going out and working a 40-hour week or an 80-hour week at a corporate entity like that. I mean, I stay up until 3 a.m. sometimes, get up at 6 a.m. sometimes. It's just living a life that I want to build for myself through my own skills and passion. I think passion gets forgotten a lot, and no one really knows about passion until they have to experience it. I mean, a lot of people just never reach the point of having a passion, and I think that's horrible. I'd like to change that for the world, and I think that's another little thing that is key to know, is that I'm sort of on a little bit of a crusade to make the world a bit better of a place than when I found it, whether it's by doing my bike shows to inspire young kids to achieve their dreams and achieve their best, which I really hope to be able to do more of. That's something that we're working on too, right? So
the Young Entrepreneurs Hub, right?
Yeah,
the motivational speeches.
I think utilizing your passion in a day-to-day capacity, that's one, and making the world a better place day by day or piece by piece, that's another huge motivator for me.
If you could go back in time and talk to a 7-year-old Trevor, what would you tell him?
That is cool. Trevor at age 24 talking to Trevor at age 7. What would I say to myself? I would say, realize what your passion is. Find out who you are. Go travel. I don't think it would be something along the lines of get on a bike and learn how to bike, but it would be more so just realize what you're good at. Try and experience everything and keep an open mind. Like when it comes to eating, whether you can put your scrambled eggs on your peanut butter and toast, that's a test of how open your mind is, right? A lot of people can't jump through that paradigm, and discovering experiences to discover your own passion is really a way to blaze your own path going forward. Be one of those kids coming out of high school with a multi-million-dollar business or even a multi-thousand-dollar business. That's way ahead of the game.
We gotta start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your final sentence or quote before we end?
Something that I had on my handlebar on my bike for quite a while, and I've still got it on there, is a phrase by a success writer, Napoleon Hill. Look him up. He's a good guy to keep you motivated. And one of his quotes is, "What the mind can conceive, the body will achieve." So put your mind to it, and you can do it. All right, so go do it, young entrepreneurs. Go do it. Make the world a better place.
thanks again for tuning in. If you guys want to know more about Trevor, just look at the links right beside him there on the screen. Visit him on Facebook. Visit him on Facebook and on youngentrepreneurshub.com. Again, this is Marcin Migdal from Active TV Networks and youngentrepreneurshub.com signing off. Trev, if you just want to wait around, and everybody else, have a good night.